Welcome to IS301. I'm Professor Fahmi Jalani. Today we'll be covering the computer hardware, like most of us are using. But have you ever wondered what's inside the PC? So, in every PC or computer, right, some of the components that we usually go through, for example, the CPU, which is the central processing unit. That is basically the core of the heart or the engine of the PC, where it processes all the program, the software that's required. And companies like AMD and Intel are developing and quantifying the speed, making it smaller, faster, and uses less energy to make it more efficient. Okay. Um, Here on the diagram we see CPU are being used in cell phone, laptops, in your cars and tablets, everywhere. Even in your watches too, right? And nowadays you hear companies like Intel, where on the packages they have multi-core or dual core, for example. So it means that um, the processor has two processor to be able to multitask the processing to make it faster. Say rather than asking one person to work, you have two person to work at the same time, or maybe three or four person at the same time. Okay. Here on the diagram you see the CPU. For example, um, it will fetch the program, and then it will decode it, okay, in terms of control unit. Next, it will execute it in ALU or arithmetic logic unit based on what the program requires, and then it will store, okay, either the hardware or the RAM or even output it. Okay. Next, we have RAM, which is random access memory. Here you can see in the diagram, basically is temporary memory that runs uh, the data which you use quite recently, see. And from there it will either transfer or move data from the hardware to the RAM, see. This is to increase efficiency of the PC. Okay. Also we have ROM, or you call it a firmware. ROM is basically read-only memory. Things like BIOS and power on stuff. This is basically embedded in the chip for you to start up or do the system check when you first start up the system. See, check whether the software is updated, the date is there. Okay, the uh, system has any viruses, things like that. Okay, so that's the function of the ROM. Next, we take a look at types of hardware. We have here, okay, the RAM, uh, which we covered just now, and ROM, which I mentioned just now. And also we have dynamic RAM, which is basically it needs to be charged. In this case, it could be the clock, for example. So it's volatile. See, then you have static RAM, uh, where you use less regularly than the DRAM. Okay, these are basically chips that's quite small to see. Okay, uh, magneto-resistive RAM. This is non-volatile. It retains. Basically, magnetic is more on an enterprise basis where you keep uh, data, okay, for companies. Okay. Also, we have flash memory, where it could be thumb drive, things like that. Okay, SD card. Right. Moving on, storage devices, quite familiar. Hard disk, we mentioned external hard drive. In the olden days, we used to have this. Okay, memory card. Okay, you have it in your phone. Okay, SD card. Okay, to increase memory, flash. Okay, USB. Okay, portable. Right. Next, we have binary. Basically, one byte is 8 bit, and here, for example, we have the letter E, and represented in binary is 01000101. Okay, and the list goes on. So in the event, let's say somebody types on a computer, okay, here example a shifty, so the system will convert the shifty to binary, okay, and then it will send to the PC to be processed, and then it will be converted to and be displayed onto the uh, screen. Okay. Just for your info, here we have the list of ASCII, which is the American standard. Okay, for each keyboard, each letter on the keyboard. Okay, take note that they do have different type of binary or ASCII for other languages. It could be Arabic, could be Hebrew, could be Thai, could be Japanese. Okay? So they have all the lists. So some benefit of storing devices, hard disk. Okay, basically it's not movable. Okay, right. So but it's large. See, SSD. Okay, these are basically temporary solid state. Okay, external hard drive, we cover that, and also today we have the cloud, right? G drive, you use G drive. iPhone, you have iCloud, right? SendCloud, okay, and we have SendCloud, it's not included. Okay, sorry about that. Next we have pros and cons. Okay, first we have the desktop, which is pretty much we have everything there. Some of the pros, it's large, and also sometimes it's faster. Okay. Next we have all-in-one computer. All-in-one computer is basically the motherboard and the PC's screen is there. Pros is very sleek, and cons, if it breaks down, the whole thing had to be changed. You see, right? Tablet, okay, it's portable. Okay, you can bring it anywhere. Okay, cons is if the screen is broken, you need to repair it, for example. Okay, it's quite vulnerable. Hardware features. Okay, here we have two example, Microsoft and Mac. Any of you are Mac user, any of you are Windows user, take note that you rarely get system viruses on Mac because they control the software. Okay, even the app that you develop has to pass through Apple before being released, okay, onto the Mac. Okay, and also you have Windows. Windows. I'm a Windows user where sometimes we do have viruses attack, ransomware, things like that. Okay, so prior to that, when we want to buy a PC or we want to buy a laptop, first thing is what the features they have. Okay, most importantly, what software you want to run on it. Windows 10, I don't know what's the latest Windows today, Windows 8. Okay, you need to have the requirements so that the software could run on the hardware. Okay, over here we see example on Best Buy. Okay, if you go to Best Buy, it will tell you what's the processor speed, the storage space, okay, the RAM and the price. Most importantly, the price. Okay, and to go detail, you can see the specification, right? So basically, it's a reverse engineering. Okay, you need to know what software you're going to install and what's the requirement, and then you get the uh, hardware. So, but in today's context, most of the hardware already have your software, right? So it's to make it more convenient for the consumer, right? Hardware features, okay, traditional laptop, heavy, right? But quite reliable. Okay, today we have thin, ultra thin MacBook, right? Also we have magnetic keyboard cover for tablets user, okay, and the stylus pen and comfortable table, okay, which can function as a laptop and a tablet at the same time, either one. Input devices, very common: keyboard, mouse, trackball, touchpad, camera, digital pen, and most importantly, gamepad. Any COD players here or Candy Crush, okay. So that is another input device, I see, which we all know. And output devices, okay, we have inkjet, printer, laser printer, okay. Over here we see projector and screen, okay. Mobile printer, plotter, okay, and also not forgetting lastly a 3D printer, right? So that's pretty much it for the class. If you have any question, please feel free to email me. Stay safe and wear a mask. Thanks. Bye bye.